Hey, it's your girl, Chef Evelyn here, and I am back with another video. And in today's video, I want to share with you not one, not two, but 12 reasons you should consider applying for the Chef's Table Group experience. And listen, when I was, going through and looking at the feedback people have given me about working with me and why they work with me, and thinking about like what you can achieve when you join the Chef's Table Group experience, I was like, I'm just gonna keep the list of 12. I was like, I don't want the video to be long, but I really want you to get a picture of where you are and how the Chef's Table can support you in getting you to where you want to be. So if you don't know, if you've been missing out on all the videos that I've been releasing, the Chef's Table group experience is open for enrollment. So previously, the only way to work with me has to been in the Chef's Table one-on-one, right, where I have my high-end one-on-one clients. But I've decided to take the same curriculum that I walk my clients through one-on-one and do it in an intimate group setting over the course of 1 year. So if you want details about all what's inside the Chef's Table, what the curriculum looks like, what the format looks like, the kind of results you can get, I am going to be doing an open house, giving you a sneak peek behind the scenes, but only to those who actually apply for the Chef's Table, right? So if you have not applied, go to chefevelyn.com/program and follow the steps to apply. And then after you apply, you will get invited to the Chef's Table open house in case you're curious. Now, if you're someone who's like, I already know, I've already been thinking about this, then you definitely want to make sure that you go ahead and apply, because I would hate for spots to fill up and then you're emailing me on the 1st of February like, I'm ready, and I'm like, sis, doors are closed, okay? So make sure that you go to chefevelyn.com/program, fill out the pre-call questionnaire. It's very in-depth. It tells me a lot more about you, your business, your goals, what's been getting in the way, where you want to go, what you've tried that's not really working, and things like that. So we can make a better decision about whether or not the Chef's Table is in fact the solution that you need to get you to your goals, okay? So again, go to chefevelyn.com/program, fill out the questionnaire, follow the steps to book and confirm your call, and I am excited to talk to you. So let's jump right in. I actually had to write these down because you know me, I don't like to waste your time. I value that you come and hang out with me every week on this channel. And I hope that you find these videos valuable. And I hope that you share these videos with people that you know could benefit, because sharing is caring. So let's get into it, because I don't want this video to be too long. So one of the first reasons that you may want to consider applying for the Chef's Table is that you are fully aware of how good you are as a chef, but you know that just being good as a chef is not enough to grow your business. So one of the biggest misconceptions that happens in entrepreneurship when you have transitions from being an employee to an entrepreneur is the belief that talent alone will be the thing that will make you successful in business. So whether that's being a chef, whether that's being an artist, whether that's being a writer, whether that's being, a dancer, any of those things, the common misconception is that talent alone is what will make you stand out from other people. Well, we can look at a lot of different industries and we know that that's not always the case. It is a mixture of talent and understanding the mechanisms of entrepreneurship that make you go further, which is why sometimes you'll see people or businesses and you're like, they're okay, but they're not amazing. Let's take, for example, McDonald's, right? We've all heard, people use McDonald's as a case study. I think everyone on planet Earth can agree that McDonald's by far does not have the best hamburgers, even though that is their flagship product, okay? But what McDonald's knows how to do well is the business of fast food. Now, imagine taking something like a McDonald's and giving it the world's best burger and then combining it with very strategic business principles, and you've got a hit on your hands, right? And so if you know, like, I'm really good at what I do, I'm probably better than the other people that I know. I see what other chefs are doing, and I'm like, okay, but I know that my stuff is a little bit, just a little bit, a little bit better, but you're not getting the similar results or the same results. It's because you don't fully understand all of the mechanisms of entrepreneurship, and that is something that you can learn. One of my favorite Instagram personalities is this comedian by the name of Kev on Stage. And Kev on Stage has admitted that inside of his friend circle and inside of his comedian community, that he is not the funniest by far. But what he is the best at and better than his colleagues is the business of comedy. And so he has been able to grow a very, very successful brand and company, because while he is funny and he is talented, he is not the funniest comedian, but he understands the business of comedy. So I spent enough time on that. I think you get the point. So the next thing is that you told yourself that this was the year you were going to be investing in yourself. So maybe you have been, online on YouTube channels, and you heard people say, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in yourself. And you're like, you know what? I think it's time that I give this investing a try. Because investing is different than putting in working capital to your business. So if you think that, buying new cookware or buying new pots and pans or adding different things to your menu is investing in your business, that's more so related to working capital. What we're talking about in investing in your business is learning things that are going to help you increase or get a return if you're not getting a return, right? And so if you have been saying to yourself, this is the year that I'm going to invest in myself. I've tried it the way where, I tried to build off of free information. I tried it the way where I tried to look and see what other chefs are doing. I tried it the way where I tried to figure it out myself. I tried it the way where I tried to, invest in, low ticket things, cheap things. And you're really saying my dream, my business, my life is worth me investing significantly, then I would invite you to apply for the chef's table, okay? The third thing is that you told yourself that this was the year you're really going to get serious about your business. So I have a video on my channel that is in this same playlist, right? Because there's several videos on how to increase and enhance your brand on this channel. But I have a video on my channel about, are you a hobby or are you a hobbyist or are you a professional when it comes to your business? And so maybe, for the longest time, you've been running your business like a side hustle. You've got income coming in from 17 different sources. Your back end is really disorganized. You don't really necessarily have a strategic marketing plan. You don't really have a plan for social media. You don't really have a plan for getting new clients. You don't have a plan for getting clients to come back. You're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to see what's going to stick. And so maybe, you've said to yourself, I can't keep going like this. It's exhausting. It's stressful. And even if you've been able to get results, you know that you can't sustain this approach to business, that the side hustle way probably was fine to get you started, but you're ready for the strategic way so that you can have a sustainable business that is successful and that doesn't stress you out. Okay. So if you've been saying, I really want to get it together, I really want to run this like the company that I know it can be, then applying for the chef's table is probably your next best step, okay? The fourth thing is you are over trying to DIY your business and coach yourself. Listen, one of my favorite quotes says something to the effect, I may butcher this, and I don't even know who said this, but the premise of this quote is so, so true. It says I think it says something like, the lawyer who represents himself in court has a fool for a lawyer, or the client who represents or who wants to be his own lawyer in court has a fool for a lawyer. But basically saying like you can't coach yourself, okay? Just like a brain surgeon can't do their own brain surgery, right? It's hard to coach yourself. I have a really good friend who is a therapist who has a therapist because she can't therapize. I don't even know if therapize is the word, but she can't therapize herself. I am a strategist and a coach and a consultant that has strategists, coaches, and consultants because as much as I know what I know and I can help my clients, there are people who are significantly more successful than me who can teach me things that I don't know, right? So if you think about singers, if you think about athletes, if you think about people in business, everyone has someone that is guiding them on the path to reach their goals, okay? Olympians have coaches. World-class athletes have coaches. Amazing vocalists have amazing coaches. People who are amazing at business have coaches. People who want to do well with their health and fitness have amazing doctors, nutritionists, personal assistants, personal trainers, So this idea that you can DIY your way to your results, this idea that you can coach yourself, if you're over that, if you're like, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, I'm exhausted, I don't want to have to figure it out. If you know that you don't get a special badge of honor for struggling your way to success, or you don't get a badge of honor that you've been making money, you've been getting clients, but you are booked, busy, and burnt out, okay? You're booked, busy, and burnt out, and you're just like, Evelyn, I can't keep this up, then I invite you to apply for the Chef's Table, particularly if you fall into the category of booked, busy, and burnt out, because the Chef's Table experience is going to walk you through not only the Chef to CEO curriculum that's going to make sure that your business is really streamlined so that you don't physically have to be in the business as much, that you can automate some things, that you can delegate some things, that you can systematize some things. But then there's also the Chef Care curriculum that ensures that you are thriving while you're growing your business, not just surviving, not just working and coming home, right? Making sure that you as the woman are living the life you wanted to live, which is why you started the business in the first place. So if that's something that really resonates with you, like, Evelyn, I'm getting clients, my calendar is booked, the money is coming in, but I am exhausted, I am tired, I am neglecting the other really important areas of my life, I really invite you to apply for the Chef's Table experience, okay? The next thing is you realize that you're only going to get so far on free information. So let's do a little bit of mathematics, okay? If you know anything about my backstory, you know that my previous career, I was a chemical and environmental engineer before I became a chef. And so I love a good math equation. I love a good formula, okay? I love a good science experiment. And I want to do just some basic math with you, right? Like if you're somebody who doesn't like math, just indulge yourself for a moment. What is the answer when you take any number and you multiply it times 0? I wish I had like some Jeopardy music right here. You know what I'm saying? So if you take a number and you multiply it times 0, what is the answer? It's 0. So let's take that principle and apply it to your business. If you say, I want to grow and build my business, but I'm going to invest $0 and you multiply that times anything, then your return on your investment of $0 is what? Ding, 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 ding. 0. So if you find yourself that you kind of hit a glass ceiling, or that you, for whatever reason, you can't seem to hit your goals, or that, it's like you're working really, really hard just to make, the kind of salary that you want, the likelihood is that you've invested very little to nothing. And like I said earlier, there's a difference between, working capital and actually investing. So trying to get by on a $47 product, a $97 product, a $300 product, a free webinar, free YouTube videos, a podcast. And yes, there's a wealth of information out there, but they're not giving you the framework. And what I can tell you as someone who creates content for people to consume for free on the internet is that people will always tell you the what. They will always tell you the why, but you're going to have to pay to know how to do it. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And what you'll notice when you start to look around is like people are definitely going to give you the what and the why. And you're wondering why, like, man, I've spent hours and hours and hours Google searching, looking at other people's things. And like, if you're like, Evelyn, I'm over that. I'm in a season of my life where maybe I've had a previous career or, I'm just at a phase and an age where I don't want to try to figure it out myself. Been there, done that. I don't want to do it, or I know better. Okay. And you're like, I'm not about to try to DIY it. And I'm not going to try to grow a profitable business, a sustainable business that is supposed to support your life and your family off of free information. If you're like, I'm just not going to do that, then I invite you to apply for the Chef's Table experience. And listen, if you're still watching this far in this video, shout out to you. Go to chefevelyn.com/programs and go ahead and apply for the Chef's Table. Now, listen, there is a video, okay? And I don't know if it's going to be coming before this video or after this video where I talk about who should not apply for the Chef's Table experience. So if you have not seen that video, go look for that video and watch that and then decide if you're somebody who should apply for the Chef's Table experience. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe you fall into this category, which is you know what you need to do to grow your business, you just haven't done it. And so you keep telling yourself, I don't need coaching. I don't need any more information. I don't need any more strategies. I just need to implement what I've learned. Here's the thing. Then you definitely need coaching because you're struggling with implementation and you need accountability. So sometimes we think that, signing up for a program or getting support in our business is all about just consuming more information. And sometimes that may be what you need. But what a lot of us need sometimes is accountability. We need to invest in ourselves and in our business at a level that we can't just walk away from. If you sign up for something for $47 or $97, sometimes you don't even open that thing, right? You invested $300, $400, $500 and you didn't even finish all of the materials, right? But you know that there is a certain point where if you invest at this level, it's going to make you show up. It's going to make you perk up. It's going to make you pay attention. It's going to make you implement the things that you already know how to do. And it's also going to make you implement the things that you didn't even know that you didn't know. Okay. So sometimes, people will be like, oh, I already know how to do it. I already know. I need to do this. I just need to do it. And you've been telling yourself that for the past year or the past 2 years or the past 5 years. And it's written in notebooks all over your home, right? You've got journals and notebooks and sticky notes and notepads full of ideas, full of things that you know could be profitable, but there's something that's getting in the way of you implementing. And that is one of the things that the Chef's Table can help you with, because it's more than just the curriculum. Yes, there is the Chef to CEO curriculum. There is the Chef Care curriculum, but the accountability that comes when you invest at a high level, when you're in community with other people and they are progressing and they are implementing, that makes you, it lights a little fire under you, okay, and makes you do what you know you need to do, okay? The next thing is that you're ready to reach your maximum potential. You just don't know how. So this one is a little challenging because sometimes we know that we could be more. And what I mean by that is maybe the people around you think that you're doing an amazing job. And, your clients are like, oh my God, this is the best ever. And maybe you're outperforming your peers. But you know this is only a fraction of what you can do. You know, this is only a fraction of who you are. You know, this is only a fraction of the ideas that you have in your head or in those notebooks, right? And you're like, what would happen if I really leaned all the way in and really reached my maximum potential? And you're a little nervous to do that because, maybe you're afraid of the success. Maybe you're afraid it's going to be lonely at the top. Maybe you don't know how to maximize your full potential. Maybe you've got all these ideas and you don't know how to put them together, right? So that you're not overworked and overwhelmed, right? That you're not paid but passed out on the little bit of free time that you do get, right? So that you're not book busy and burnt out, okay? And so, if you're like, I know that everybody else is fooled, okay? And they think I'm out here killing the game. And you are, but not at the level that you know that you can, okay? So the next thing is you want to stop winging it. Okay, so I remember there was this phase in my business where I just felt like every day I was trying to figure out what I needed to be doing that day to move my business forward. And after a while, it got really exhausting because what I was experiencing was something called decision fatigue. What am I supposed to do today? What am I supposed to be working on today? And then what happened is squirrel brain entered the picture, was like, maybe I'll work on this, maybe I'll work on that, maybe I should be doing this, maybe I should do that, right? And if you're in a place where you're like, yeah, I'm getting results, my business is growing year after year, but this not knowing what to do, not having a strategic step-by-step plan to follow, so I don't have to play the guessing game every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, and feeling like you're all over the place. And, you'd be embarrassed if somebody saw how disorganized your business was, right? If you're like, I'm over winging it, I'm over, posting and praying on social media as a strategy, I'm over trying to do it on a wing and a prayer. If you're like, yeah, that is not working for me, and you're like, I really just need a step-by-step process. Here's the thing. If you're somebody who loves a checklist so that you know what steps to follow so you can check things off the list, then I invite you to apply for the Chef's Table group experience, because inside the Chef's Table, at every step in the process, there's a map that you're following so you can know where you're starting from, you can know where the gaps are, and you can know what you need to do to get to the next step to further your business. Recently in the Chef Care super class, I took them through a 64-point audit on their business, and it was really, really eye-opening for the participants to see where their gaps were, where their opportunities were. And so while they entered the super class thinking that they needed to work on this to get this goal accomplished, or work on this to hit this metric, once they took that assessment, they were like, oh, this is what's missing, not this over here. And so sometimes it's challenging to diagnose yourself. Okay, I would tell you, I know somebody that, you ever know that person that, they're convinced that when they get sick that they know what they have. They've been on WebMD. They're like, these are the symptoms that I have. I absolutely, absolutely have this. And then they go to the doctor, and the doctor runs official doctor tests on them. And the doctor is like, I know you think you have this, but the test results say you have that. Raise your hand if that's ever happened to you, because that's happened to me, right? And it's because I'm not a doctor, and I don't know all of the things to look for outside of WebMD, okay? And they tell you all the time, like, don't WebMD your symptoms. And it's the same thing in your business. If you're just tired of trying to WebMD, okay, your problems away in your business, and you're like, let me go find out what's really going on. And that is one of the reasons why I interview all of my potential clients to see if they're a good fit for the Chef's Table. Because in that call, after you complete the pre-call application / questionnaire, yes, that's one assessment. But when we get on that call, we go through another series of questions, because I'm trying to see if what you think is the problem is actually the problem. Based on my many, many years of experience, based on what I know about entrepreneurship, what I know about the culinary and hospitality industry, what I've seen my clients go through, the coaching that I have received, I am assessing to see where you are so that I can give you a diagnosis, if you will, a prescription of what's going on. Okay, so if you're like, Evelyn, I've been out here winging it and I'm tired of it, say no more. Girl, go ahead and apply for the Chef's Table experience. Let's keep going because I'm getting long with it here. Now, here's one that I find really important is that you have been searching for a community that's at your ambition level or above. And let me tell you what I mean by that is that you have been trying to be accountability partners with someone. You have been trying to be business besties with people, and you kind of end up directly coaching them. And so then you're like, okay, where do I go for me to get poured into? Where do I go where there's people who are at least at my level or maybe more advanced than me in one way or another, right? Where do I go where I don't have to be the smartest person in the room? Where do I go where I don't have to give out the answers? And so if you've been looking for a community of women in the culinary field that are entrepreneurs, right? So narrow it all the way down, who are building high-end culinary brands, at a variety of levels, but the mindset of those women are at your ambition level and above, the psychographics are at that ambition level and above, then I invite you to join the Chef's Table. I remember when I was creating my very untraditional, non-traditional chef business, and there really wasn't a community for me. There wasn't a community of like online people teaching online classes at the time. There wasn't a community of chefs making money online. Classes weren't even a thing. Instagram hadn't even been created. Every other resource out there was just teaching me how to be a personal chef. So when I went to chef association meetings, those chefs were working in restaurants and hotels, or they were corporate chefs. And I didn't really want to do that. But then when I went into the online space, people were like, chef, food, and I didn't have a community. And so I decided to create one. And so if you have been out there feeling like you're on an island, that, okay, you've made some progress in your business, you're not a newbie, okay, you've at least got 1, maybe 2 years in business, you're not a newbie, but you felt lonely in your entrepreneurial journey, then I invite you to apply for the Chef's Table, because it's really, really important to have not just guidance and mentorship, but to also have peers that you can bounce ideas off of us. And you also need, and this is so important, you need a safe place to enjoy your success. Because a lot of times when you start talking numbers and you start talking about your 5-figure months and you start talking about expanding and growing and the ideas that you have, it can be intimidating to people who haven't gotten there yet. And that doesn't make them bad people, right? But then they want to spend more time asking you how you got to where you are. And you're like, I need to spend my energy on actually going to the next step. And you felt like you've just been out here by yourself. I invite you to join the Chef's Table. So the next thing is you want to hit your business goals. And you're just like, listen, Evelyn, despite my best efforts, I haven't hit my business goals. And you know that it's not what you know, that it's what you don't know. You're like, listen, I am smart enough to know that I don't know everything, right? That is probably one of the hallmarks of my most successful clients. That is the posture that I go into my coaching programs with my coaches, which is I know some things, but I don't know everything. And I am always a student, always willing to learn, always willing to grow, because I want to hit my goals and I want to hit them consistently. And I don't want it to be like a surprise to me if I hit my goals, right? I want to be absolutely trekking along every week, every month, every year saying, hey, listen, this is how I hit my business goals. Okay. And so if you're just like, yeah, I know that I don't know everything, and I know and I don't know what I don't know, and you're ready to learn, then the Chef's Table experience might be a great fit for you. So the next thing is that you really want to minimize the mistakes you make in your entrepreneurial journey. So we know that, mistakes happen. They are a part of life. They are great learning opportunities, but you also know that there are some lessons that you can borrow from somebody else's experience versus having to buy those lessons for yourself. That's one of the things that I've really appreciated about my experiences with my coaches and consultants is they've been able to help me navigate around some of the common potholes that happen in our journey in business. And yes, sometimes we get in our own way and we get in our own head, or the world changes and we need to pivot and shift our business and we may not always make the right decision. So this is not about not ever making mistakes. But if you're in a place where you're like, you know what, I've made enough mistakes and I know that someone who's already been ahead of me can help me minimize the amount of mistakes that I'm making, and you're just listen, you're over it, right? You're saying to yourself, I deserve to enjoy the journey of entrepreneurship. I don't have to struggle to be successful. I don't have to be exhausted to be effective, and I don't have to be perfect to be profitable. Okay? If you know that and you're like, I'm looking for someone who not only knows business, but also knows food, because that makes a huge, huge difference in the kind of guidance and support that you get, then I invite you to apply to the Chef's Table. Listen, you're like, I've tripped over enough potholes and gone over enough speed bumps to know that somebody can kind of help me get around this. Like, I think about it like this, and I am not a person who plays video games, but I think about it like this. It's like the cheat code, right? It's like somebody's like, listen, if you're on level 7 and you're trying to get to level 12 and you just keep losing lives, okay? You just been all day, all night, all day, all night trying to figure it out. And somebody's like, let me give you the cheat code. That's what coaching does for you. You still have to do the work. You still have to take the steps, but it's the cheat code. And I think one of the biggest disservice our education system gave us growing up was the idea that being resourceful to get the answer meant you were a bad person. Now, don't get me wrong. I totally understand that they were trying to teach you how to problem solve and they were trying to teach you things that you needed to learn yourself. But there is a certain skill about being resourceful. If I don't know the answer, the solution is not always struggling until I figure it out. The solution is, let me go to somebody who knows the answer to get support, to get guidance, who can teach me what they know, right? And so if you're in a place where you're like, yeah, Evelyn, I've made enough mistakes, or I've tried another business in the past and it didn't work, and it's because I had no clue what I was doing and I made way too many costly mistakes, and you're like, I'm just not available for that anymore, then I would invite you to apply for the Chef's Table group experience. And the last thing that I want to say on why you might want to consider applying for the Chef's Table experience, and I think I've kind of alluded to this along the way, is you really want to enjoy your journey of success. Sometimes we reach certain milestones in our business, we hit certain revenue goals, but when we got there, we were broke, busted, and disgusted. I mean, just broke down, tired, burnt out, exhausted, frustrated. We were like, okay, I mean, I made it. But what it took for me to get here, that the journey wasn't enjoyable. And a lot of times I feel that, coaches or consultants or programs or courses are so focused on the outcome, as they should be, but they miss a really vital component, which is that of the journey of getting there. I don't teach hustle and grind. I don't teach struggle city. I don't teach sleep when you're dead. I teach you need to live, cook, and work on your own terms. Notice it's not just about work. One of the things that I was telling a potential client recently is that the difference between the Chef's Table group experience and a lot of other programs is there is a lifestyle curriculum. When you're an entrepreneur, sometimes the lines between your life and your business get blurred or they get enmeshed, and it can be challenging to follow business coaching and business advice if your life is either non-existent or going up in flames. And so to be in programs that don't even acknowledge the external factors that could affect your decision making, that could affect, the things that you're able to do and not able to do, the life circumstances, to hold space for those things, to give you grace around those things, to help you maneuver around those things, to help you build a business that is built around your life versus teaching you to build a business that's reminiscent of a job. And then doing the same thing people who work a job do, which is trying to fit your life around the business. That's how most programs are structured. And do they get their clients results? Of course they do. Do they get their clients successful business? Of course they do. And then what happens is people realize, like, man, my business feels like a cage, just like my job did. And that is because they either don't know how, or don't have the capacity, or don't have the experience to teach you, here's the things that you need to be considering from a lifestyle standpoint that will influence the decisions you make in your business. And so if you're like, yeah, Evelyn, I don't want to just build something that makes me money and I'm still unhappy, not living, not enjoying myself, not resting, not taking time off, not exploring other passions, not having time for other hobbies, not having time for play, friendships, relationships, a family, whatever it is that's important to you. If you're like, I don't want to continue to put that on the back burner, and I know that there's a way to either adjust, build, restructure my business that can include the life that I want, and you're tired of putting your life on hold while you're building your business, right? If you know, like, I can't do it, one of these things is going to have to go. And you don't want it to be either that you still want to have your business, but you want this life that you've always dreamed of. Then I invite you to apply to the Chef's Table experience. So if you've made it to this point in the video and you're like, Evelyn, these things resonate with me, whether it's one thing or multiple things, and I know this was a little bit of a more lengthy video, a little bit more in depth, and you're like, this is me. I can't continue to do these things. I really want you to think about applying for the Chef's Table, because this is not about me. This is about you. This is about your life. This is about your business. This is about your quality of life. It's not just about the money. The money is important, okay? Because I want you to make the money. Because the money is just a tool in your toolbox to help you be fully expressed in your life and in your business. And so I want you to do what you need to do. I want you to take the time to complete the application. I want you to be as honest as possible in your responses. And then I want you to follow the steps to confirm your call. And I want you to say, you know what? I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to get myself on this call. And then I want you to mentally prepare yourself to do the work that's going to be required of you in the Chef's Table. I want you to prepare your lifestyle. I want you to prepare your mindset. I want you to prepare your energy levels to do the work. And then I also want you to prepare yourself to make an investment, right? That may be a little bit uncomfortable, that may be a little bit of a stretch, but you know that I've tried everything else. And what do I have to lose? Right? So if you have made it through this video and all 12 of these points, and you've been watching and you've been listening, and maybe you've applied for the Chef's Table previously, but you didn't follow through, or maybe you've landed on that page a couple of times and you got to some of the questions and you were like, yeah, I don't know, right? Or maybe you're like, I'm not even going to click on the link because I'm not ready. If any of these apply to you, then you are ready. And you know that, but you may be a little nervous, and that is totally normal, right? Or you may be like, I don't know what comes next. That's what I'm here to show you, what comes next, right? So applications for the Chef's Table group experience open. And listen, this is not one of those programs that's going to have 175 people in it and you won't get any individualized attention. Like I said, it's a very high touch, intimate experience for a intimate cohort of women over the course of 1 year, right? So I'm not going to be dragging you through super fast at a pace that, you know, you like you can't still work in your business, still live your life, right? But I really, 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 if you're still watching, want you to say, you know what, this is my year. You know, after the past 2 years that we've had, you deserve ease as you earn. Okay, so go to chefevelyn.com/program, fill out the questionnaire. Then when prompted, select a date and time that works for your schedule. Follow the steps to confirm, and I look forward to speaking with you. Peace.